Hello everyone, welcome to Historically Accurate. In this episode, I will continue talking about Liu Bei. In my last episode, I mentioned that after Liu Bei became the chancellor of Pingyuan Commandery, he followed Tian Kai to rescue Tao Qian, who was attacked by Cao Cao. Xu province, where Tao Qian lived, consisted of 5 commanderies and had a large population. However, Tao Qian's military strength was quite weak, which made Xu province a target of many warlords. In the face of the powerful Cao Cao, Liu Bei's help was actually a drop in the bucket. But at that time, Liu Bei was under the command of Gongsun Zan's subordinate Tian Kai, so he could only follow Tian Kai to rescue Tao Qian. On the way, Liu Bei recruited several thousand famine victims. When he arrived in Xu province, Tao Qian gave him another 4,000 Danyang soldiers. As a result, Liu Bei's army rapidly expanded nearly 10 times. At that point, Liu Bei simply left Tian Kai and followed Tao Qian. Of course, Pingyuan Commandery was also given up by Liu Bei. Then why did Liu Bei give up Gongsun Zan and his own territory and follow Tao Qian? This was because at that time, Gongsun Zan occupied Yu province after he had killed Liu Yu, who had been the governor of Yu province with a good reputation. Liu Yu had also been a member of the Han imperial family. Also, Gongsun Zan was already at war with Yuan Shao, the most powerful warlord north of the Yellow River. Liu Bei could tell that Gongsun Zan wasn't loyal to the Han government and had no chance of winning, so he took the opportunity to rescue Tao Qian and left. If Gongsun Zan lost, Liu Bei would not only lose Pingyuan Commandery, but also have an extremely powerful enemy, Yuan Shao. Foreseeing this, Liu Bei did something when he was still in Pingyuan Commandery. What was it? I will skip it for now, but what Liu Bei had done saved his life in his future crisis. After Tian Kai and Liu Bei arrived in Xu province, Cao Cao's army retreated. This was because Cao Cao's base camp, Yan province, was attacked by Lü Bu, and Cao Cao commanded his entire army to return to Yan province to help. As a result, this crisis in Xu province was temporarily resolved. Tao Qian asked Liu Bei to station his army at a place named Xiaopei and recommended Liu Bei to the imperial court as Cishi of Yu province, which was equivalent to the highest level administrative official of Yu province. So why did Tao Qian recommend Liu Bei for such a high-level position? If we look at the map, we will find that although Xiaopei, where Liu Bei was located, was controlled by Tao Qian, administratively it belonged to Yu province instead of Xu province, and most of Yu province was Cao Cao's territory. Liu Bei was stationed here as a barrier on the front line of Xu province against Cao Cao. Tao Qian soon became seriously ill and then died. When Tao Qian was seriously ill, he told his subordinate Mi Zhu that Xu province couldn't survive without Liu Bei. So, after Tao Qian's death, Mi Zhu, Chen Deng, and Kong Rong, 3 prominent local figures, all supported Liu Bei to take over Xu province. That is to say, Liu Bei, who had a low official position, low social status, and low military strength, quickly made the prominent local figures in Xu province develop a strong affection for him and support him to lead the entire Xu province. It all happened after he arrived in Xu province. Such personal charisma is indeed rare in the world. Although supported by everyone to lead Xu province, Liu Bei still recommended the very prestigious Yuan Shu to take over Xu province. However, Chen Deng, Mi Zhu, Kong Rong, and their followers were unanimous in disliking Yuan Shu, whose reputation and strength were much stronger than Liu Bei's, and insisted that Liu Bei took over Xu province. So Liu Bei agreed to do so. Just like that, Liu Bei, who started as an unimportant xianwei, became a major warlord owning the entire Xu province. This is as incredible as a county sheriff suddenly succeeding in running for governor of a state in a few years. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. Although Liu Bei, whose military strength wasn't strong, luckily inherited such a large strategic area all of a sudden, he would also be envied by the other warlords. Not long after, Yuan Shu led his army to attack Xu province. When Liu Bei led his army south to defend against Yuan Shu, Lü Bu raided Xiapi, which was guarded by Zhang Fei, and captured Liu Bei's family. Then why was Lü Bu able to raid Xiapi? This was because Lü Bu came to join Liu Bei after he was defeated by Cao Cao. Liu Bei accepted Lü Bu since he couldn't resist Cao Cao by himself. Liu Bei planned to use Lü Bu as his shield in case Cao Cao attacked Xu province. Unexpectedly, Cao Cao didn't come. Yuan Shu came first, and Liu Bei himself became Lü Bu's shield. This also gave Lü Bu the opportunity to raid Xiapi. After Xiapi was attacked, it couldn't continue to provide supplies to Liu Bei's army. In addition, Xu province had just experienced a horrible massacre by Cao Cao and Zerong. Liu Bei couldn't bear to allow his army to plunder the people. Therefore, Liu Bei's army could only survive and be able to return to Xiaopei by eating the corpse of the soldiers died of starvation. In the end, in desperation, Liu Bei had no choice but to sue for peace. Lü Bu returned Liu Bei's family and let Liu Bei stay in Xiaopei. Life was so unpredictable. Liu Bei now returned to the same situation when he first joined Tao Qian. All his previous efforts had been in vain. Liu Bei learned the lesson from his painful experience and decided to increase his military strength. He recruited nearly 10,000 men in Xiaopei, which made Lü Bu feel threatened. As a result, Lü Bu directly sent troops to attack Xiaopei. Liu Bei couldn't resist the attack, so he fled to Xudu and joined Cao Cao. This time, Liu Bei directly hit rock bottom and lost all his territory. The reason for Liu Bei's series of failures was that Liu Bei didn't train an army with high combat effectiveness and military expertise in time. Although Liu Bei could quickly gain support of the locals wherever he went, he wouldn't be able to protect his territory without a sizable and powerful army in the troubled times. After Liu Bei fled to join Cao Cao, Cao Cao allocated some troops and rations to Liu Bei. Cao Cao asked Liu Bei to go back to Xiaopei, gather the defeated soldiers, and continue to attack Lü Bu. This time, Lü Bu sent his generals Gao Shun and Zhang Liao to defeat Liu Bei again, and Liu Bei's family were also captured by Lü Bu again. Seeing that Liu Bei couldn't defeat Lü Bu, Cao Cao decided to attack Lü Bu himself. This time, he finally completely defeated Lü Bu and executed Lü Bu on Liu Bei's advice. Despite repeated military failures, Liu Bei's name still became widely known. Cao Cao respected Liu Bei very much. In a conversation with Liu Bei, he even said something like, "You and I are the only heroes in the world." Liu Bei, who had been trying to keep a low profile, was so shocked to hear this that he dropped his chopsticks to the floor. In the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, it happened to thunder when Liu Bei dropped his chopsticks. So, to hide his ambition, Liu Bei said to Cao Cao, "Look, even the thunder startled me. I am really timid." In addition to having his own ideals, Liu Bei was also very uncomfortable with Cao Cao's use of the emperor as a puppet. Therefore, when the emperor secretly hid the distress letter in his belt and asked Dong Cheng, Liu Bei, and others to help him kill Cao Cao, Liu Bei agreed to do so. But before Liu Bei had the chance to carry out the plan, He was sent by Cao Cao on an expedition against Yuan Shu. The conspiracy was discovered not long after Liu Bei left. All those involved were killed by Cao Cao, and Liu Bei became Cao Cao's enemy completely. You might think that Liu Bei had absolutely no need to participate in the murder of the man who took him in, but there was an ideological struggle involved here. Cao Cao believed that the Han dynasty was so decayed that there was no point in maintaining it, so it would be better for him to use his own talents to govern the country in the name of the emperor. However, in Liu Bei's opinion, if whoever had strong military power and whoever was lucky enough to snatch the emperor as a hostage first could control the whole country, then the country would become a barbaric society without rules, and the stronger could kill the weaker without being punished. Both beliefs are actually valid, and it is difficult to say who is completely wrong. At the critical moment, when the emperor sent the distress letter, Liu Bei knew that it would be quite difficult to succeed, but he was obliged to participate in the plan for the sake of the idea he represented. Otherwise, the people who supported his idea would not unite around him. This explained Liu Bei's seemingly irrational involvement in the killing of Cao Cao. Of course, ideals always come at a price. After learning that Cao Cao had discovered the conspiracy, Liu Bei quickly reoccupied Xiaopei and Xiapi, trying to rely on these places to fend off Cao Cao. However, Cao Cao was so strong that Liu Bei couldn't resist at all. In the end, Liu Bei's family and Guan Yu were captured alive by Cao Cao. Remember I mentioned earlier that Liu Bei did something when he was still in Pingyuan Commandery that saved himself later? That thing was recommending Yuan Tan, the son of Yuan Shao, who was the most powerful warlord at that time, to be a government official. Although Yuan Tan's family was prominent, he couldn't become a government official directly without the recommendation of a reputable person. Liu Bei, who was in charge of Pingyuan Commandery at that time, was qualified to recommend Yuan Tan. After being defeated by Cao Cao, Liu Bei went to Yuan Tan, who introduced Liu Bei to Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao welcomed Liu Bei's arrival and went 200 li, a traditional Chinese unit of distance, out of the city to greet Liu Bei. Liu Bei finally got a respite in Yuan Shao's place. Soon after Liu Bei joined Yuan Shao, Battle of Guandu broke out. Guan Yu returned to Liu Bei after helping Cao Cao kill Yan Liang. Liu Bei keenly saw that Yuan Shao could lose to Cao Cao and advised Yuan Shao to ally with Liu Biao in Jing province. He also left Yuan Shao on the pretext of contacting Liu Biao and recruited a few thousand men in Runan from Gongdu, the remnants of the Yellow Turban Army. Once again, Liu Bei's judgment was proved to be right. Yuan Shao was defeated by Cao Cao soon after Liu Bei left. If Liu Bei were still with Yuan Shao at that time, he would literally have no one to turn to. Cao Cao went south to chase Liu Bei, but fortunately, Liu Bei had arrived in Jing province and was accepted by Liu Biao from the same clan. Liu Bei stationed his troops in Xinye. In Xinye, Liu Bei finally had a huge turnaround in his life. If you want to know how Liu Bei bounced back after his life hit rock bottom, please check out my next episode about Liu Bei. If you have any thoughts and suggestions, please leave your comments below. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you next time.